Hello. In this video, I just want to talk about the difference between resorts in the Dominican Republic. Specifically, I've been to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and Mexico, specifically Cancun, that area, Cancun, Puerto Morelos, Playa del Carmen, Acumal, etc., that area of Mexico. So just to keep it simple, I'm just going to say Punta Cana versus Cancun, so you understand what I mean. Dominican Republic versus Mexico. So Punta Cana versus Cancun, is there really a difference between the resorts themselves? So just to make it simple, I'm not going to talk about if you venture outside the resorts, if you go into town, Punta Cana, or if you go to the Cancun hotel zone where they have bars, restaurants, nightlife, things like that. And that's really what I do. I just kind of stay at the resort itself. So just being at the resort, is there really a huge difference between staying in Punta Cana and staying in Cancun, or Playa del Carmen, Puerto Morelos, Acumal? And the answer is really no. Starting in 2014 to the end of 2016, for those 3 years, I went to Punta Cana 5 times, and I really had a great experience each time. There was a large selection of resorts to choose from, and most of the resorts seemed to have a very kind of very tropical, lots of greenery, very relaxing. So 5 times I went to Punta Cana, and I loved it. It was the first few times I've been to an all-inclusive resort, and I just really like the fact that you can just don't have to worry about anything. You can just get a drink, you can go eat whenever you want, swim in the beach. Most resorts are next to the beach, and some resorts you might find that you just might have to walk to the beach. Of course, those might be cheaper. So I enjoyed Punta Cana, went 5 times, and then in the mid-2017, I started going to Mexico, went to Cancun for the first time. And I had no idea what to expect because I had never been to Mexico before. I had only been to Punta Cana. And I was just hoping that the experience would be the same in Mexico as it was in Punta Cana. And thankfully it was. I was pleasantly surprised. I was actually very happy. I do very much like the resorts in Mexico. And I've been going to Mexico exclusively since that time, mid-2017. I have not been back to Punta Cana, but I would like to go back eventually. So really, I mean, if you're staying at the resort, you're staying inside the resort. You're not, let's say you're not going to venture into town. I'm just talking about that experience within the resort. It's really largely the same. And many of the chains that have resorts in Mexico also have resorts in Punta Cana, and vice versa. So AM Resorts, which owns a lot of brands like Now Resorts, Dreams, Secrets. What are some other brands? Zoetry. And yes, and then Excellence Resorts. They have resorts in Mexico and Dominican Republic. Also, Paradisus, Hyatt. So, and the resorts really mostly operate in the same way. You've got your all-inclusive format. You can just, you have the mini bar in the room. You can go to the beach. Just most resorts are next to the beach. Buffet restaurants, restaurants at night. Some of them have a coffee lounge where you can get some coffee, and of course, and swimming in the pools. So, Punta Cana. So really, if you've been to Punta Cana, all-inclusive resort, and you go to Mexico, it's really a similar experience. Of course, there's really nothing else to say besides that, except that if you want to think about the difference, well, you have actually a much larger selection of resorts in Mexico. Obviously, it's a large area, so even just talking about that part of Mexico, which has Cancun and Riviera Maya, so Playa del Carmen, Puerto Morelos, Acumal, there's really a larger selection. And really, if you just do your research, you might be able to find a good deal in Mexico, maybe during September, October, when it's slower season, or even any time of the year. If you just do your research, keep looking around for prices, checking every day, you might find some discounts. And same thing in Punta Cana. So I would say the prices in Punta Cana and Mexico are really comparable. It's just that if you're looking at Mexico, even just certain areas of Mexico, you have a much larger selection of resorts. But other than that, if you're staying at the resort, you have a pretty much similar experience. Just make sure, whether you're going to Mexico or Dominican Republic, do your research, look at the reviews, go to Google Earth, Google Maps, so you can see how big the territory is. Do you want specifically large pools? Do you care about the beach? If so, maybe you want to research areas where the beach is a little bit calmer. Does it matter if you're next to the beach or do you not mind walking, for maybe 5-10 minutes to get to the beach? Adults only, family resorts. So really, same thing. Punta Cana in Mexico. If you've been to one of those locations, then you won't really see a huge difference. You really won't see much of a difference going to the other location, except that you have a much larger selection in Mexico. But prices really are comparable. And I typically look at Travelocity and TripAdvisor to look at reviews and ratings, but really just make sure you do your research. Also, again, I didn't speak about the differences if you're going outside of the resort. Obviously, in Cancun, you have the well-known Cancun Hotel Zone, which I don't know too much about, but obviously there are local businesses there where you can, just engage, or you can just, there's some nightlife, bars, restaurants, etc., things to do, shopping, right? And also, obviously, something I didn't mention, which is excursions. Obviously, Punta Cana, Mexico, and either of those locations, you can feel free to do your research about booking excursions if that's something that you like to do. But for me personally, and with my family when we went there, we really just stayed at the resort. So just talking about from that perspective, staying at the resort, Punta Cana versus Mexico, the Dominican Republic versus Mexico, it's really a similar experience, and that's quite nice because they're both just very tropical locations. Obviously, if you're talking about Mexico, the Cancun Hotel Zone is a bit more commercialized, a bit more developed. So if you really just strictly want a resort that's very tropical, maybe think about Puerto Morelos, Akumal, Playa del Carmen. And Punta Cana, if you really want to think about going to a resort with a larger territory, maybe feels a little bit more isolated, I would maybe think about Uvra Alto, which is in Punta Cana, where they have a Nickelodeon, they have the Excellence Resorts, they have Serenis, Zoetree, and they're building more resorts in Uvra Alto. Breathless, Dreams. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I really do like both locations, Punta Cana area and the Cancun area. I hope to go back maybe next year in 2021. In January of this year, 2020, we did go to Mexico, Playa del Carmen, to the Riu complex, and I really had a very enjoyable experience. So overall, if you're thinking about Punta Cana or Mexico, or if you've been to one but not the other, it's not a bad idea to just to check it out. So we went to Punta Cana first, and we went to Mexico, all-inclusive resort. Some people maybe go to Mexico first, and then eventually they'd like to go to Punta Cana. So both very tropical locations. Just definitely feels like paradise. I enjoy going to resorts at both of those locations. And if you're staying at the resort, it's just your typical all-inclusive experience, lots of fun. But again, please do your research before you spend money on your vacation. You just want to make sure it's a perfect vacation for yourself and your family, or just for yourself if you're going alone. So just make sure to read as many reviews as possible. Also read the negative reviews. I know it's not fun to read negative reviews about a resort that you're thinking about, but just do be aware that maybe some people might have issues. Are there recurring issues, things like that? Not to scare you, but just to kind of help build a bigger picture of what this resort looks like. Are there isolated incidents here and there? Are people complaining about the rooms? Maybe they're dated. So just something to kind of enhance your perspective, kind of get this overall picture of the resort. Just know as much as you can. If you've never been there, the only thing you can do is read reviews and look at videos on the internet. But that's pretty much it. I really do love all-inclusive resorts. I think it's just so nice to be able to go there and not have to worry about anything except when you want to eat and when you want to go to the beach and swim in the pools. So Punta Cana, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Mexico. I really like going to all-inclusive resorts there. Again, just do your research before you consider going. I'm not going to say that one is better than the other because there really are similar experiences when you're in the resort, when you're in that enclosed area. You have your wonderful slice of paradise where you can get food and drinks and swim in the pools. But if you want to go outside the resort and you're wondering which is more fun or which has more things to do, obviously you want to, again, maybe it's not a bad idea to go on the forums or Facebook groups and just to ask, hey, what is there to do outside the resort? People might recommend excursions or tourist sites to go to. So again, but that's something that other people might be able to talk more about. For me personally, I just stay at the resort, and I do very much like both Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and the Cancun area in Mexico. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.